Hi everyone, it's Cheryl and welcome back to part 2 of my rounded corners on my covering a journal with fabric. Today I am going to cover this circle. Now you probably, I don't know, maybe you're going to make a junk journal and on the cover you want, cut out of a circle. Or maybe you just want to make a covered pocket with some fabric. And these techniques also work on paper. You're not going to have quite the give with paper you do with fabric, but it does work with paper also. And if you chop this in half, you've got the little, like when you take your hole punch and cut out for your little, so you can pull your things out of your pockets. It'll work for that. And this will work with paper as well as fabric. You just don't have the give in the paper, that's all. So let's get started. I am going to use this fabric today that I covered that little journal in. I had a piece of it laying here. And I don't have a selvage edge, so we'll check for that. We'll stretch it this way. Yep, too much give. We'll stretch it this way. No give. So we know this is the green. And although this is a circle, it really doesn't pertain. If you were doing the half circle, like for the little, for if you were doing it on a pocket or something, then, yeah, the grain would be important because once again, you want the grain to run down the face of the pocket. So what I'm going to do today, for the sake of this video, for the sake of so you can see what I'm doing, I'm sorry about the little bit of glare we got. It's kind of a semi-sunny day out there. I'm going to outline the inside of my circle with a Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing because I'm using a printed fabric. It's not quite so easy to see on, but it was all I had down here that I could find. So now I've got my circle, so, in my fabric. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just tack a little bit of glue to the edge of my paper shape. Just that little bit to hold it. And I'm going to do both edges on this because, well, this is for practice. If you're going to do it, try to put it in a strategic spot where your glue's not going to show. And I'm just going to place that over the top of my circle. Try to get it around my lines. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to let that sit for a couple seconds. I probably should have cut the middle of the circle out first, but I'm pretty confident that I can go ahead and do it without, and I'm going to trim off some of this excess fabric around the outside edge because we're not going to need it. It's going to be too much fabric to play with. And I'm not really caring how I'm going to chop this because the whole point of this is your circular surface when the circle goes inward instead of outward like we did last time. This is just a scrap and I'm not going to be using it for anything. I'm just going to kind of hack it. Like I said, I should have clipped the inside out before I stuck it down, and I still can. I can just pull it right off. Yeah, okay. Doesn't want to pull right off. That was me not thinking. So I just clipped the center. And I'm going to attempt another 1/4 of an inch or close for the inside of my circle. This is not the ideal way to do this. Clip it before, because this was not one of my brighter ideas. But we're going to go with it because it's going to work. And I am not clipping a very rounded circle in here because of, I didn't think. I don't know if I'm in camera. So I have this cataract in my one eye. It's kind of hard for me to see, so sometimes I pull things back and get them in an angle where I can see better what I'm doing. Believe me, I get some funky cuts and stuff sometimes. Okay. Alright, that's not perfectly circular, but it's going to serve the purpose because I don't want this video to go on forever. Now on the other one, you remember when we did the outer circle, we clipped the little triangle shapes in it. You don't do that with the inner circle. Okay, with the inner circle, you just cut, and once again, do not go up to that line. You just make little snips in it, making sure you stay back from that line. I'm staying back from the line I drew a little bit because I want a nice smooth curve. I don't want to be able to have, because if I go all the way up to the line, what's going to happen is when I turn it, then you're going to start getting those little bumps in it. It's not 100% foolproof, but it works. Now I'm clipping about not quite a 1/4 inch apart. If it's a bigger circle, you can clip a little farther apart. it's a smaller rounded edge, I would clip a little closer than that even. It's, you know, it's kind of trial and error, like I said in the last one, what's going to work for you, what's going to work for the size of the project you have going. And so if I don't have these clipped enough, then I'll have to go back in and do it again. And I know this is time consuming, but it is well worth it. And I'm just about back around. Okay, we're going to try it like that, and if it looks like it's not going too good, I'll come back and do it. But see there, I've got my little clips. I've clipped it. I didn't clip all the way up to the edge of this. I just clipped almost to the edge of it. Okay, this is probably almost even easier than the other one. I'm going to lay down some glue, and it doesn't matter where you start because this is a full circle. If you were doing a half circle, like for a little pocket, I would say to start in the middle again, because that's going to be your best bet. So we're just going to start turning them, and these you don't have to push them toward one another. In fact, if they go out away, like remember the last time when we did it, we were pushing the little points inward. This way, it's a little better if they go a little bit outward. What you don't want is so much of it that it overlaps, because then again you get your bulk. And that is what we are trying to avoid, is the bulk, and to make just a nice rounded circle or half circle. Because let's face it, most of you are probably going to use it for a half circle. One more thing before I forget. My last video, I mistakenly called this fusible web. This is not fusible web. Fusible web is a totally different thing. This is iron-on interfacing. Okay, that's the package I showed you with the little stuff that had the glue dots on it. Iron-on interfacing, not fusible web. My bad. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. And this goes relatively fast if everything is working right. And if it's not, well, come on, your brand new bottle of glue. Got to open new tacky glue, yay. Those of you who have been with me for a while know I love my tacky glue. I absolutely, positively love tacky glue. So as you can see, this is progressing rather quickly. So this should be a short video. Didn't want to make them too long, because I realize it gets really boring sitting and watching someone for quite a while, and, well, I don't like to. I mean, I do if it's really interesting, but if it's something that just seems very repetitive, which basically this is, because I'm just gluing around the circle, then yeah, I don't really want to sit and watch it, and I'm pretty sure you probably don't either. So I'm trying to make it short. And in fact, YouTube takes forever to load on my computer, and I'm not, it's probably my internet, I don't know. Or it could be YouTube. Okay, so this is what you're going to have when you're done. And you see how instead of going toward one another, they're kind of spreading out all over? That's what you want, just like that. Now, I'm going to, because this keeps, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these edges too, because, I mean, ideally you would have what your project you're working on, you would know right where you need the glue, but since this is rounded and it's very, very narrow edges, I'm going to glue that down just so it holds. Oops. That one's a little bit sticky yet, but anyway, yeah, this is what you should have when you're done. When you flip it over, you have a nicely rounded circle out of fabric. Just like that. That's simple. Not hard. I tell you what, getting your fabric out, cutting it and everything is going to take you a lot longer than rounding your circle. But it's very, very nicely rounded, as you can see. I'm not seeing any lumps or bumps except for a glue booger that's stuck there. There you go. That's all there is to it. Just remember, if the circle goes to the inside of your curved surface, you cut, just make little straight snips into it going around the circle. Don't go all the way up to the edge of where your circle's going to be. Glue it down, turn it out, you got it. Simple, easy, nothing to it. When I get done with this, I'm going to start on a couple of, I want to do a baby boy and a baby girl smash book. Yeah. And I was inspired by, oops, I'm looking for my glue lid, sorry. I was inspired by these chocolate bunny wrappers. And I thought, how cute for a baby. How cute to fabric cover one of these and make a smash book out of it for babies. No, it's not going to have the Easter baskets, but I'm thinking about maybe putting a little fuzzy bunny in here once I get the fabric over the top of this. And this is outer curves and inner curves, just like I just showed you, see? So it's going to come in handy on a project like this, and maybe I will do this one with you in a series of videos when we get all done with our fabric covering techniques. It'd be cute to go and great to go ahead and do a project with them. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this little trick works for you. Remember, if you're only doing a half a circle, same thing. As long as it goes in, just cut your little straight slits into it, glue them down, you're all done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you again soon with part 3 when we do book corners. Bye for now.